So look, today I want to talk to y'all about cash versus credit. You notice a lot of people getting cash during this pandemic or whatever. Long story short, people are not getting approved still for certain things. So I feel like this topic is about cash versus credit, but clearly y'all see that if you think that cash is better than credit, then you comment below letting me know why, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like cash is definitely needed, you know what I'm saying, to be able to build, you know what I'm saying, fix, and get everything that you want. But credit is definitely needed to be able to basically get the trust from the banks. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, when you try to go get a car, you can have a lot of cash. If cash was so important, why don't they just care about the straight cash? They check your credit score. They like, no, we have to check your credit score. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at that. You got to ask yourself, why is it that? You got to definitely ask yourself why cash don't get you everything like credit gets you. Now, credit has always been a secret for a long time. A lot of, African Americans and Latino people never really knew about credit. They just felt they had to do it the regular way, as far as building their credit the regular, normal way, you know what I'm saying, just paying their bills on time, which that is not really it. And it's a lot of secrets out here to life, you know what I'm saying, even tax secrets that people don't even know about, as far as, some of these million and billionaires not paying their taxes or paying very little taxes. It's the same thing. When you find out credit hacks or tax hacks, you know what I'm saying, you start to notice, it's a lot of people that make money. It's a lot of people that make a lot of cash. But like I was just saying, when the bankers see that you have sitting cash and you have good credit together, it's not about having cash or it's not about having credit. It's about having both. Because they look for cash, they look for proof of where you got the cash from, and they want to know if you have history with the cash that you have. Then they attach the credit, and then you can ask for things that you want, how you want it. As long as you're willing to pay, the loan back on the money, they basically give you damn near anything you want, especially when it comes to credit cards. Now, credit cards is cool, but I'm going to tell y'all about credit cards and stuff like real estate. So real estate sets. So they will be willing to give you property quicker than a car. They will be willing to give you property quicker than anything because property sits. So you can't take the property and walk away. So they don't care that if you don't pay or you be late or whatever, because whatever money that you put into the property, you lose it all. They're just going to take the property, either foreclose it or just auction it off. So that's why a lot of people have a lot of real estate, because it's easier. With real estate, you don't really even need a whole lot of money. You just need a certain percentage of money to put down and pay monthly on it. And if you're smart and know what you're doing, you could either Airbnb it out, or you can just find a tenant and get paid every month for it while you're making payments. So let's say if you have them paying every month, eventually, depending on how long they staying at your home, they will probably pay it off themselves with the money that they're paying you every month, or your Airbnb will probably pay it off. Because the key is not paying everything off. The key is actually saving more money. But that comes from, experience, good credit, having a little cash flow, being able to show proof. You know what I'm saying? That's why cash versus credit is really just cash versus credit. When people say that, I'll be like, well, you really need both. You know what I'm saying? But I try to give good aspects on both sides, because credit is very, very important. Cash is very, very important as well, because you might find somebody who have a property who going through bad times, who would just let the property just go for a little bit of nothing. They'll let it go for about 20 to 50,000 to 100, depending on what the property is worth. You probably can get like a 50 to 75% deal off of it, depending on who owns it, who has the deed to the property, who's willing to let the property go for a little cheaper, you know what I'm saying, than what it usually costs. And that way you put a little money into it and you sell it for what it's worth, or a little bit higher, depending on who you get to buy it, you know what I mean? So I just say both of them are very much needed, you know what I'm saying? As far as credit, it's definitely needed, and it definitely make you look very good when you go inside of a car lot. When you have a high credit score, when you walk inside of a car lot, that's when they're going to go get the champagne, and they're going to go get the wine, and they're going to be really, really nice to you. It's almost like having a whole lot of money. When somebody knows you have a whole lot of money, they treat you a little different when you're dealing with people who makes commission off of sales, or when you're dealing with people who's in the selling game, basically, right? So they're going to treat you very, very, very good. The reason why is because they feel like once you get approved, they get paid, because the banks are going to send their money like this. They don't have to worry. So once you finance, the bank get their money like that. So they're going to treat you very good. So that's why a lot of these companies don't really care about cash too much, because they don't see you really coming in there fully cashing something out. And they feel like if you have bad credit, it's a reason why you have bad credit. Like, I was just talking to a guy on the phone on FaceTime yesterday. He was telling me about he want a $10,000 loan and how he would do the $10,000 loan and this and this. So I asked him, I say, you know, have you ever done this before? I asked him where's his, like, what is his credit score? And like, for his age that he was at, like, how come he's in a bad situation? And he told me. So I told him most investors that he meet will look at him like maybe he's not fit for, you know, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 at the time. You want to get yourself all the way together before you get to asking these investors for money, because you want to have a good name. You want to, if you know that you finna be worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, you don't want to mess up with none of these lenders. You don't want to mess up with banks and stuff like that. You want to actually have great relationships with banks. You want to have great business relationships with banks. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, when you're dealing with, I basically want to talk about, I was just basically saying, a lot of the creditors are noticing that a lot of people are using CPNs, which is a credit profile number, which is not a real social. So they are very cautious with credit right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying cash is very important as well, because creditors are not trusting credit like that no more. They got to be more careful, and the security level is way higher because of people are using these CPNs. You know what I'm saying? So it goes both ways with cash and credit, because people who have cash, you know what I'm saying, they can't show proof, and then the people who have credit most likely isn't all the way legit as far as what they credit. It might be a CPN, or it might be this, or it might be that. So they looking at it like, well, is this a real social? And then the people who have cash, they looking at it like, well, is this legitimate cash? Do you have proof? So, I mean, it go both ways or whatever, you know what I'm saying? A lot going on in the world or whatever, but I feel like cash and credit is king, you know what I'm saying? Not just credit, but cash as well, you know what I'm saying? Because you need the capital to make everything happen. And you need history. History is very important when it comes to credit, because a lot of these people have high credit scores and still can't get nothing. You already know that. So, history. Banks, creditors, they look for history when they give you that loan. They want to make sure you have great relationships. They want to make sure you are trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? So